Hello friends. In our previous tutorial, we actually discussed how we can implement a max priority queue in Java. And in our previous tutorial, we actually saw an animation to basically implement a max priority queue. And in that tutorial, we actually implemented the max priority queue at a very basic level, and which we will enhance in our upcoming tutorial. So friend, let's see the code to implement a max priority queue in Java at a very basic level. So friend, in this tutorial I have created one class by name maxPQ, which is nothing but max priority queue, which has a main method. So friends, in our previous tutorials we also discussed that we represent a max priority queue in a form of an array. So first we'll create an integer array and we'll give it as a name as heap, and the second instance variable we'll give it as integer variable by name n. So this will store the size of the max heap. Moving ahead, we also discussed that we will provide a constructor So this constructor will take the initial capacity of the heap. So inside this constructor, we also saw that first we will create an integer array whose size will be capacity plus 1. So why we are taking is capacity plus 1 is because index 0 is kept as empty, and we simply initialize the value of n to be 0, because when we initialize this max priority queue there are no elements into this heap, so the value of n is 0. We'll also provide a method which will return a boolean value, and the name of the method would be isEmpty, which will return a boolean value that whether this max priority queue is empty or not. So we simply return n equal 0. So if the value of n is 0, it will return true, and if value of n is not 0, then we know that there are elements into this heap array. Also we'll provide one more method whose return type would be an integer value, which would be nothing but the size of this max priority queue. So we'll simply return the value of n. So whenever we call this size method, it will return us back the size of this max heap, that how many elements currently this max heap has. So friends, in the main method we'll first initialize this priority queue let's say with capacity 3, and then we'll print its size, and we'll also check that whether is currently empty or not. So here you can see when we initialize this max priority queue, the value of n is 0, so the size return is 0, so it will print 0. And if we check whether this max priority queue is empty or not, so n is equal to 0, so it would return true. If I run this code now, so here you can see it printed 0 and true. So friends, in this tutorial we actually discussed the basic and a very initial implementation of this max priority queue. In our upcoming tutorial, we will see the operation a priority queue supports, such as insertion, get max and delete max. I hope you like this video. Thanks, have a nice day.